wanted to pop on here really quick and dive a little bit deeper into a post that I made earlier this week. I posted that you should never ask your photographer for the RAWS, so images that have not been edited, straight out of the camera photographs. And I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into that to give a little bit more insight. So the image you see here on the left is what we consider a raw image. It's straight out of the camera, has no editing to it whatsoever. I haven't touched it with nothing. I threw it into Photo Mechanic. I culled out the images that I wanted to include in this amazing bride's beautiful snowy wintry wedding, but that is the extent of it. As you can see, it's really underexposed. The tones are rather blue because it was shot outside while there was snow, and there's like no warmth whatsoever to her skin, even though she is not this blue in real life. Also, the main focus of this image, which is the bride herself, is kind of just like lost in this image. When I'm done editing it, so I go in, I put it into Lightroom, Photoshop, so that they get this dewy, creamy, almost tilt shift looking image where the bride is the main focus. Everything else, like the context of the image, is still there. The church, the tree, her flowers, all these things are still there. However, she is now the primary focus, and I've warmed everything up and straightened things out the way that they needed to be straightened. Is when you're asking your photographer for a RAW, you're asking them for this. And it can only mean one of a couple things. Either you don't trust your photographer or videographer's editing style, or you feel like they might have left out an image. So I want to clarify both of those things. First things first, editing style. It is my hope as a photographer that when anybody goes onto my website, my Instagram, my Pinterest, my Facebook, that they love my editing style before they even send me an inquiry form. There is 1,001 ways to edit this one image. I could have gone with the cool tones in the blues. I could have gone a whole lot light nary. I could have gone way more yellow and orange. I could have gone black and white. I could have gone really dark and moody. However, those are not my editing styles. This more rich, natural tones is where my happy spot is when it comes to editing. So I wish you guys could see me. My hand gestures are going everywhere because I talk with my hands so much, and it's hilarious. Anyway, show you another example. This is straight out of the camera. Really dark, the greens aren't there, there's this much more blue tones. And then we have this where I brought out the greens in her flowers. You can see the oranges in her fur, the red, her makeup, all these little bronzy touches are now coming out. This is my editing style. This is what I love to do. And so like I said, when someone inquires with me, it is my hope that they didn't just look at the first 9 squares on my Instagram and said, oh, she's great, and hire me. Because that only shows 9 different situations, 9 different lighting situations, and sometimes even less because I've got a quote put up or a photo of my kids or whatever. So if you really want a good sense of a photographer, I would highly recommend, don't just look on the first 9 squares of their Instagram. I would scroll to the very, very bottom and work my way up. If you're seriously considering spending a ton of money on these people and having them be so intimately a part of such one of the biggest days of your life, I'd scroll to the very bottom where their worst work is, because that is where they started. And then I would work my way up, and you can at that point see the transition in how they evolved and how they've gotten into their style, and you can really see a range at that point of what they shoot well in, where their strengths are, and you can start to envision yourself and capturing you in your day. I would also then suggest hopping over to their website, and before you fill out the inquiry form, check out the latest 10 blog posts. This is going to be the most recent work that they are putting out. It's going to be super helpful for you to really be able to judge, okay, I've seen where they've come from, I'm now seeing where they're at. Are they a good fit for me and my vision? At that point, if you can say yes, 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 this is exactly what I want, then you can go from there. You can fill out that inquiry form, start making that connection with them to be your photographer. you think that they possibly missed a moment in your gallery. So you get your gallery from your photographer. So I wanted to dive into this just a smidgen. You've hired your photographer for however much time to capture your elopement, your intimate wedding, whatever it is. On average, for every 100 photos that I capture, I pull out 10 to 30, depending on the situation. The reason is, when I'm done with your elopement day, I'm going to take them back home. I'm going to upload them so that I can go through and cull all of these photographs. And I'm going to pull out the photos where you have a double chin. I'm going to pull out the photos where your now husband is picking his nose. I'm going to pull out the photos where your dress maybe slipped up just a little too high. All of these photos I'm going to pull out, because you don't want them. If you had a big reception, when I'm giving my galleries to my clients, want them to literally be transported back to their wedding day. And these moments that really truly made their wedding day, I want those to come flooding over them the moment that they open up that gallery that I sent them. And the only way to gift that is to cull through all of that extra. Something I always highly suggest to all of my couples, before I even show up, I say, hey, send me a list. Are there any small details like hair pieces you really want photos of, so that when I come into a space, they're on the back of my mind? These are the things that I'm going to carry with me, so that I make a point to get those details photographed, so that those special moments aren't missing. First, really do some research on your photographer or videographer. Do you really like their editing style, or are you just hiring them because of a price point or because somebody highly suggested them? I would highly suggest going through, researching that photographer. Make sure that you really love their editing style. Second of all, before your wedding day, make sure if there's any specific details that are really important for your photographer or videographer, or both of them, to capture, let them know beforehand. Send them a list and be like, hey, here's the top 3-5 things that are really important to me. Be like, great, cool. We'll make sure to do our best to capture these in a beautiful, authentic way to your day. That ensures that your gallery will have these small details that you want captured so that you can remember forever included. So that's my gist on when you're hiring a photographer for your elopement, your wedding, your event, whatever it is. Don't ask them for the RAWS. You're not going to want to, and you're not going to need to if you love their style, and if you just give them a little heads up before your wedding day on things that are really important to you. You're not going to need to ask them for the RAWS. You can just relax and trust us that we've got you, and that your day is going to be captured in the most beautiful, authentic way to who you are truly and how your day transpires.